What is up, guys? It's the Sound Alchemist here with
Gershwan.
and today we're back to answer more of your questions in a room of
Solitude.
yeah, that's a good way of putting it, because this is for the greater.
This is a video series where we answer the questions left by you, the viewer. If you have a question for us, comment down below. Put question in front of your question because we get to those questions first.
The Fortress of Solitude, was that Superman?
I think so, yeah. I think that was like in Antarctica or something.
And is that because you're saying wargamers thrive in solitude?
Yes. We thrive in solitude even though this is a game where we want to play with each other.
That's true.
Or we should play with each other.
Hey. Tell them what it is.
This is a video series where we answer the questions left by you, the viewer. If you have a question for us, comment down below. Put question in front of your question because we get to those questions first. I thought I said that already.
Did you?
I thought I did.
Well, you said it twice. Or once. I don't know. The solitude is getting to me, guys.
Yeah.
This question is by Brian B. Maybe related to Bridget B.
Definitely related to Bridget B.
His question is, you could tell we've been in solitude for a while.
Yeah.
Do you think the Emperor told Gilliman that the lion is alive and taking a nap on the rock? And would 2 Primarchs be able to change the Imperium for the better?
Definitely, the possibility is there to improve the Imperium.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason I say that is because Gilliman improved the Imperium
For
dramatically.
sure, yeah.
And if you remember, like the ones that kind of worked together and did okay with the whole Codex Astartes, it's the Psychnuans.
It is.
It was Gilliman, Rogaldorn, and the Lion.
Mm-hmm.
So having like the Lion and Lion and Gilliman would be really good.
Yeah, they're already buddies.
Yeah.
Gilliman and the Lion, I feel, are like 2 of the more better Loyalist Primarchs out there.
Because they're more militant,
Yes,
I feel.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like Gilliman, we know what he is, but like with the Lion, he's like the knights and like he's crusades and yeah.
And I feel like
the vibe.
Yeah, the Lionel Johnson's main prerogative when he wakes up is to find the unforgiven, the fallen, and like wipe them out. I think that works perfectly with what Gilliman's trying to do, trying to find chaos and wipe it out, so that their agendas would kind of line up.
Yeah.
It's not like if Lehman Russ came back, he'd probably want to do his own thing. He wouldn't take orders from Gilliman. But the Lion, I could see them actually working together.
Yeah, same thing with like Corvus Corax, because he would try to like work on his Raven Guard and do that whole thing. Because they had a problem with mutations too.
Yeah.
And then, so like I said, the Lion and then Rogaldorn.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing with Salamanders, dude. Vulcan.
Yeah, Vulcan for sure. The only thing is, like, why haven't they touched base on this? Like, the Emperor is known to be able to communicate and talk with, like, the Custodes, Sisters of Silence, and that kind of thing. So why do you think he hasn't told Gilliman to, hey, go get more of my sons, like, bring the Primarchs back?
I think they're probably doing something, because they're all stuck in the warp.
For the most part, yeah.
So I think they're doing something along the lines of, like, scheming for the birth of the God Emperor.
Do you think they'll ever do a crusade into the warp to bring back like Drago and all the other like big dudes in there, like the Primarchs?
I hope so, because that sounds badass. I mean, just think about it. Like, to have a Primarch actually go into the warp to rescue another brother, that would be cool.
And it'd be cool because we've seen a lot of penitent crusades where like entire chapters go into the warp to redeem themselves. And if they are alive and surviving in there, they could be like, hey, Gilliman, you have to wear this type of armor, or you have to use this type of psychic power because it's really effective against this thing and that thing. And to see like the Gardens of Nurgle, to actually see face to face an actual chaos god, that'd be pretty badass.
Yeah.
Maybe even rescue Isha.
Yeah.
And then once they come out of the warp and do this whole crusade, they see the galaxy in like flames, but they've got all the Loyalist Primarchs with them, and it's like that's a huge starting point for 10th edition, maybe.
Yeah, it's like that part in Endgame when it's only, who was it, standing by themselves?
Cap.
Oh yeah, and then everybody shows up.
They open up the portals, yeah. Whereas like Chaos and Abaddon is like all, like you see his throne and all the worlds under him, and then a portal opens up and Gilliman steps out. And Abaddon's like, you've been in there for 20,000 years. This is my world, my galaxy. And then Gilliman's like, A ver, cabrón, vente pa' acá, wey.
Yeah.
Because he's got like cholos behind him too.
Yeah.
He's got the
Cholo chapter.
exactly.
Yeah.
And 10th edition starts.
One of the most famous successor chapters of the Ultramarines, the Cholos.
Yeah. They got the lean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Next question.
This one's by Asian Tricks. Do you think that Primaris Sanguinary Guard are coming soon, since most were wiped out during the devastation of Bao?
Cross our fingers, hope to die.
Poke him in the eye.
Yeah.
Sigh.
The big problem with that is that, like, physically a Space Marine is bigger, and all of that armor is hand-me-downs.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, how are they going to fit in there?
I mean, unless they wear their armor like crop tops and like, what is it? The opposite of flooded pants?
Yeah. But, I mean, that's just an excuse for just GW not putting them out. But
Yeah.
because they could just say, like, no, yeah, the Tech Priests did some things, and boom, now they're out.
Mm-hmm. Or they melted the armor of like the fallen ones to have more armor for the ones that are still alive to undergo the Rubicon process.
Yep.
But yeah, definitely Primaris Sanguinary Guard would be amazing because I love the kits. The wings, the jetpacks, the nipples on their armor, the abs.
That's the best part.
Mm-hmm. And I wonder how
I like to flick it.
You get a little ice, rub it on your mini.
Yeah.
But it'd be really cool to see like the headgear on like a Primaris body.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Or maybe they change up the masks. Who knows?
Because it is, like, very, like, it's like a person's face, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
This question comes from Snuggy the Goblin. What do you think of the Snotling Beastnaga on the Unicycle Squig? I think it's cool. I wonder what functionality it's going to have for the new Beastnaga box.
Yeah. Probably nothing. It's just a unique model.
No, but because it's standalone, so it has its base.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
So, and then usually when that happens, like, what's the
Like the Oiler
Gretchen?
squig.
Well, yep, the Oiler squig. He has a purpose. The attack squigs, and also like even Morkai, I think his name is.
Mm-hmm. Morkai,
the Gretchen
for Thraka.
Yeah, so he has like a whole thing. You could actually play him without Thraka, which is cool. But yeah.
But you like how it looks though. You don't think it's too goofy?
I mean, it is goofy, but that's the orcs.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of it is just goofiness.
Hunter Hayes. How do Chaos Space Marines replace dead Space Marines? Like, would the Thousand Suns cast a rubric on other Marines to replace their ranks?
This is a question we get a lot, and there's a lot of different ways.
Yeah, it basically depends on the chapter, and because most of the time they do the let's start with my favorite before we get into like the basics and all that. The Iron Warriors. They use the Demon Kulaba, and basically what that is they get a bunch of women, stitch their uteruses together, and that also includes stitching them together to create a mega uterus. And then they basically put a neophyte in there, and they let this dude grow inside the uterus while casting like chaotic energies, and it comes out as a Space Marine, usually ripping its way out and killing the surrogate mothers.
Yeah.
So in a way, I guess you could say Chaos Space Marines are born.
Yeah, they are. Yep.
For the Iron Warriors, at least.
And it's funny because, like, I saw a TikTok and it was showing, like, the actual size of a uterus. It's tiny.
Mm-hmm.
And it expands to fit the baby, obviously, but that's disgusting.
It is very disgusting, yeah. But yeah, for the most part, it varies from chapter to chapter. There are still gene seed and like gene seed factories, or they steal the gene seed from, like, for example, when the Thousand Suns invaded Fenris, they burned and stole gene seed from the Space Wolves to create more Thousand Sun Marines.
Yeah.
But I think when it comes to the Rubric Marines, since they're just like hollow suits of armor, they can't really replace those.
Right.
Because the spell that Ahriman did to try and save his brothers like did the opposite, and I don't think anybody else knows that spell.
Yeah, but I mean, Rubric Marines don't really die.
Right.
They're just their armor. So, like, it could get damaged, but then just fix the armor.
Mm-hmm.
The soul's still stuck inside the armor. Which is interesting, because, like, couldn't you just take it apart and then travel to different parts of the world and just scatter the armor? You know what I'm saying? Like, have a hand in the eastern part of the galaxy, put the head in the north, and then that Rubik Marine is pointless now.
Mm-hmm.
Bam.
Magic.
Magic.
Do you believe in magic?
That's a good concept for a D&D campaign. Like, you have to put together a Rubik Marine and find his parts scattered throughout the galaxy. And the party's not going to know that this is actually a bad thing.
Mm-hmm. And that's the big bad guy when they get all the parts together.
Yeah. Next question comes from Tin Man 40,000. Are there any blank swords like the Psyker sword only powered by blanks?
And I guess you could say any weapon from the Sisters of Silence, since they themselves are blanks. I guess just by touching any piece of like armory, that weapon becomes anti-psyker.
The Sisters of Battle have psych or null grenades, I think they're
Sisters of Silence?
Silence, sorry.
Yeah.
And what it is like inside of that is the ashes of a Sister of Battle. So I wonder if you could take a Sister of Silence, sorry. So I wonder if you could take the ashes of a Sister of Silence and mix it in with the metal to form a null sword.
This next one is by Robert Hasdowns Jr. If my wife doesn't praise the Emperor, does that mean that this is a doomed marriage?
No, because you're not the Emperor. Why would you want your wife to praise somebody other than you? Stupid.
But I think in the 40K world, you necessarily don't have to actually praise the Emperor. As long as it appears like you do your work, you do all these, like, you stay out of, like, the, what are they called? The Adeptus Arbitus's eyes, you're pretty much okay.
Yeah, that's true.
Or you could live in a world where they don't even know the Emperor exists, and so thus not praising the Emperor isn't a hindrance on you.
But then the question becomes, would you want to be in a relationship with someone that is pretending to be something that they're not? Because if she has to pretend that she's a Emperor worshiper, and you know that she's not an Emperor worshiper,
then that depends on your values.
Yeah.
You need to see a
marriage counselor.
There you go. Yeah. Weigh the options.
Pros and cons. Pro. Nope,
Con.
just cons. Just a bunch of cons.
This next one is by... Oh, we already did that one. By Snuggy the Goblin. That was a fun name. I just wanted to say it.
This one comes from Cartus Drake. What the fuck? You Slaneshi heretics found your way into a pleasure world. Yeah, we were there for a little bit. It was really nice. As you guys like to call it, it was a cul-de-sac. We no longer are there. Back to the hood we go.
Every time I hear the word cul-de-sac, I always think of like...
Ed and Eddie?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's like they lived in a cul-de-sac and they had wacky adventures. And for some reason, their outlines were never fully drawn.
Yeah.
That always bugged me. The Big One asks, my little brother plays Dungeons and Dragons and Hero Quest all the time. Does that mean he's going to die a virgin?
No.
Mm-mm.
I would say, though, my advice to him, based on, like, other friends' experiences, find someone that enjoys your hobby. Yeah.
Because if you spend a lot of time doing that, chances are, if your significant other doesn't like that, you guys are going to spend a lot of time apart. And if you're apart, you're going to fly with dragons in a land apart.
Yep. You have to be like that brother and sister duo,
mm-hmm.
who are probably dead. Because the dragon world, or dragon tales, must be like the afterlife for them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Fox the Beast. What are your guys' favorite D&D classes? And what type of characters do each of you guys like to play?
I like Druid as the class, and then in terms of like races, I like dwarves.
Yeah, that seems like a go-to for you. I've always been attracted to the Warlock because it's simple yet very customizable. In terms of races, I've played a bunch. Tiefling's pretty cool. ASMR is pretty cool. Warforged, I enjoyed a lot too. But I think it all depends on like what you make of the character.
Yeah, that's true. And the world that you're going to play in, because it's pointless to have like a really like thought out character and then it's going to be a dungeon crawl.
Yeah. Or it's like, oh, I've made this whole character with very interesting motives and beliefs, and it's like, sorry, we're playing in a fantasy world where there are no robots.
Right.
There goes my Warforged. This one's by Simon Teese. If the Emperor finally does die, say in like 300 or 3,000 years, do you think the Imperium is prepared for this and its aftermath?
Because the Emperor is not really part of any ruling body, I think in terms of like the structure or the bureaucratic structure, yes. The big problem is the, what is it called? The Astronomicon.
Yes, so that would for sure be the thing that hinders the galaxy, the Imperium, the most. Because even if the Emperor does die, they don't have to say that. Right. People are still going to keep praising him. They'll still be falling in line, listening to the planetary governor or whatever. But yes, you take away the Astronomicon, which the Emperor is powering, you take away safe warp travel. And without warp travel, there's no way to get materials from one planet to another, no way to get defense, such as the Imperial Guard, the Space Marines, from one side of the galaxy to the other in a timely manner, and the Imperium is just going to crumble.
Yeah, I like to compare it to the Suez Canal incident. Like, if the Emperor dies, it's that situation.
We can't get our minis from GW.
And then prices rise up, and then pretty soon demons start coming out of the warp, and everybody has to fend for themselves.
We're just a nut tap away from that.
We are. Nut tap. Especially with the cryptocurrency market crashing. Boys, it's time to buy. Yeah, next question.
Simon Teese, once again. Do things such as trade unions exist in the 40K setting?
Yes. In the Horus Heresy, or in the Dark Heresy novel, they have that. There's like different trade unions in the Calixis sector. But yeah.
I feel like rogue traders also play a big part with like trading and whatnot and unionizing.
Yep. Always tried to join a union. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool.
This one's by Roboot Gilliman himself. Gay? What would we do with filthy Xenos? You must be a heretic to ask such a question. But for real, what would you do with the filthy Xenos? Heretic.
Are you asking this because the U.S. just admitted that there are unidentified flying objects?
I don't think they call them UFOs anymore. They call them like I
think they call them UTIs.
Oh, yeah, urinary tract infections.
Yeah. Yeah, but that's crazy.
Yeah.
And I think what we would do, or he's asking what, like, we as individuals or we as a society?
That's a question for you to decipher.
As an individual, if I was like encountered by a crew, I think I'd just try my best to communicate with them and like understand their culture. Nah, not really. I would ignore them and play 40K.
Yeah, you treat them like a goose, right? Or a geese.
Yeah.
Just go after their goslings, and if they come after you, just bonk them in the nose.
Yeah.
Boop the snoot.
What would you do?
I think it depends, honestly, on the Xenos I'm encountering. Like, if it's a Necron, then it's like, yeah, I'm done. I'm just going to lay here and wait for them to fillet me.
Yeah.
But if it's like
Kroot or Tau,
I'd be like, what up, Holmes?
What about a society? Like, let's say right now we did find out that aliens do walk among us. What would you... And, like, the government is asking us what we would want to do. Which it seems like that's what they're doing, but, like, let's be honest. They're going to make their own decision.
That's true, yeah. I mean, it'd be pretty cool to, like, just expand civilization. Like, just have, like, alien technology able to send you out into, like, those planets. And, like, they just look at the different, like, topographies and climates of other worlds.
So you would want to communicate with them and see if we can get those technologies?
Oh, for sure, yeah.
Yeah.
Because it'd be pretty cool to be like, oh, you know what? I'm going to work today, and like you like teleport to the volcanic isles of the 13th.
Yeah.
And you learn a whole new custom climate and whatnot. And depending on like how these things look, I mean, you might have little hybrid humans walking around.
Yes, that is one good thing that the Spanish did when they conquered Latin America. They had sex with everyone. So that's why we look like this now.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, making love to some Xenos, some big booty Tau, that'd be nice.
What would you guys do?
Comment down in the comments. Who would you guys do? That's the question.
Norn Queens, where you at?
Yeah, because of the big head crest.
Mm-hmm.
I like to caress that crest.
Caress the crest.
This question comes from Donkeysaurus Rex. Why does the grass on one side of the screen look taller than the grass on the other side of the screen? Oh shit. I don't know. I mean, I mowed the lawn, so I don't know. Magic?
Maybe it's depth perception.
Probably. And those were the questions for today. If you guys have more questions for us, please comment down below. Thank you guys so much for listening, and we'll talk to you guys next week. Where are we going to be? I don't know.
You decide.
This is Gershwan,
The Sound Alchemist, and we are out.
Oh, I did the